Now, for a sportier version, this is the latest result of collaboration between Jaguar and Tom Walkinshaw, the XJR 4 litre, announced here at the show. It joins the Jaguar Sport version of the XJS, now with a 6 litre V12 engine. On the circuits this year, Jaguar have been defending their World Sports Prototype Championship with the sort of car that Tiff Needell drove for Top Gear in the spring. But it's up against some stiff competition from the Japanese, from Mercedes and from the various private Porsche teams. Well, Becky Adams has been looking at the sort of testing that goes on between races in a major sports car team.
Well, it's 8 o'clock on a sunny morning in August. We're here at Silverstone South Circuit with Richard Lloyd's Porsche team. Our man Tiff Needell is just about to put the car through its paces. Tiff, what are you hoping to learn from today?
Well, really, Becky, it's two parts. There's the continuous programme of developing the car, making it that little bit faster, but also we've just returned from the Nurburgring where we had braking problems, so we've got to specifically look at our brakes and try and get them better. Also, we've got the car mounted up with some tyre temperature sensors to monitor that.
As soon as the circuit opened at 10 o'clock, I was sent out in the newer black Porsche 962 to test various ways of keeping the brakes cool, particularly important for the next race at Donington with its heavy demand on braking. On Silverstone's hangar straight, we added an extra chicane, and with appropriate gearing and suspension settings, the flat airfield does duty for the swooping curves of Donington Park. Lap after lap through the morning, I have to drive in exactly the same way so as to show up the effect of the engineer's adjustments, and each of those laps has to be just on the limit. It doesn't always work.
So, Tiff, you span off. What actually happened?
Oh, it's just that it's a handling problem we have when the tyres get hot sometimes, that it oversteers into very tight corners. And that was a classic case we've seen now of terminal oversteer into a tight corner. So, but you always have to push right to those limits when testing to get a feel of what the car really does at the limit.
Is there anything that can be done about it, or is it just more careful driving next time?
No, you always try and change the car. You try to stay driving as hard as possible, and the team of mechanics now try a suspension change or a wing change or aerodynamic change so that I can drive in the same manner but go through the corner at that speed.
My teammate this year is former World Sportscar Champion Derek Bell, 5 times winner at Le Mans, always in Porsches, most recently in a 962.
It's a classic car now, really. I mean, it's been around a lot of years. It handles very well, but of course technology has overtaken us with the other manufacturers coming in a bit now, and we're having a bit of a struggle to keep up. But the car basically is a very neutral handling car. The power is very sweet, very nice sort of power. The car has no vices. It's never had any vices at all.
Throughout the day, it's out for a few laps testing, then back to the pits to tell team manager Ian Dawson how the car is affected by the latest modification.
There's also some bumps right on the apex which unsettle it, so even if you go in neutral...
Does it feel like it unloads in the rear? You know, you get a sort of an unloading sensation.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
It looks a little bit
the
like it here.
high speed as well, it's unloaded at the club.
It lifts itself.
Yeah.
So what are you actually gaining from this little computer printout?
Well, what this does is it gives you all the temperatures while the car's running. As you make changes, you can, Wayne's using the BM2000, and this would basically extract all the information from the engine. If we make adjustments in there, this will show up whether the water temperature's higher or lower, whether one gets affected, the oil's higher or lower. It records fuel temperature, revs in the engine.
Once more, a constant pace is essential, so that any changes in the printout are due only to the engineer's experiments and not to my pushing the engine harder. By 1 o'clock, after around 35 laps, there's time before lunch to assess performance so far.
Yeah, well, we now have temperatures from the steel brakes. We've got our chicane in to be like a Donington circuit where we are next, so we've got temperatures from the steel brakes. Again, we're monitoring them all the time because it was the steel brakes we had problems with. Now we'll try the carbon brakes and see what temperature we get on them.
Having asked Tiff what he was going to do with the car, really, it's not up to the driver. Really, the whole secret of testing, of being a great driver, is being able to put over to your engineer, in this case Ian Dawson, what is happening to the car, and any changes he does on the car is being able to put it over to him saying that was better or that was worse.
2 o'clock, and I was ready to try out the red car, fitted with the much lighter carbon fibre brake discs and pads. Now in attendance, checking up on our progress, the captain, team owner Richard Lloyd.
My job is to put together all the resources, the human resources, the material, obviously sponsors, and just make sure that we keep it running in the right sort of way to attract future cooperation from manufacturers and sponsors alike. It's, if you like, a sort of producer's job of getting all the elements together.
And getting all those elements together costs a lot of money, and a private team runs on a shoestring compared to the works. Testing days are a luxury, so did I think we'd had a successful day?
Yes, half and half. Unfortunately, the specialist to do the tyre temperatures couldn't make it, so we didn't run that experiment today. But we ran the carbon brakes. We've now got the temperatures down on them, so they're working, so we think we might be able to use them for the next race.
So do you stand any chance of winning?
Yes, we're still up against, although we're up against £1 million major manufacturers, you know, we're now in a good condition for Donington, and there's always a chance of winning.